porn reboot community is made up of men from different cultures, countries, and religion. We have Christians, Muslims, men from India, from Qatar, men from Sweden, guys from Kenya. Every nationality and race is involved in this course. From a young age, you had to fulfill some societal expectations, which were for the most part completely unrealistic. Some of your cultures implied that masturbation was a no-no. Some enforced a zero-tolerance policy towards premarital sex. Others shamed you for being a certain age and not in a committed relationship yet with a woman. Now, the standards set by our societies and cultures were so high that you lived in fear of expressing your sexual desire or intimacy. Now, whenever you tried to express either, you were sure to be damned by those around you. You were judged. So you just satisfied your sexual desire with pornography. You developed a different sense of intimacy. You believed that intimacy involved a partner making you whole. Man, we were so wrong. See, the truth is that we have always been complete. We were born whole. We deserve to be treated as a complete human being. The journey now involves taking off and ridding ourselves of all the junk we've accumulated over the years. Now, because you're given an unrealistic expectation, you understandably make weak commitments. You overpromise and you underdeliver in many of the things that you do. You kind of avoid responsibility when you underdeliver. Like, it's easier to make excuses and blame others for when you screw up. Now, let's say you got married when you were addicted to pornography. Your wife found out about your porn addiction and your relationship crumbled around you. Did you take full responsibility for its failure, or did you blame someone else? See, if you don't know how to, let's say, get laid, or you wish you had a girlfriend but you don't, it's no one's fault but your own. That's the truth. It's not your culture, your parents, or society's fault. See, I was born into a very conservative family. Hellfire and brimstone was promised to me if I dared masturbate or have sex before marriage. At least that's what I felt. While the expectations placed on me created great shame for my porn use, the moment I took full responsibility for my life, I stopped making commitments I could not keep. I stayed away from making promises if I knew they did not align with what I wanted from life. See, your first and foremost obligation is to yourself. When you get into a plane, you are instructed that in case of an emergency, you should put the oxygen mask over your face first and then on your child. Obviously, you have to be safe and secure before you can ensure the safety of those who depend on you. The next thing I want to talk about is self-destruction. So, for instance, I was so messed up when I lived in shame. I had tried so hard to be what the world expected me to be, and I had failed. I was useless as a man. I was unworthy of love from a woman, abandoned and ostracized by good and decent people. The worst part was, even when I had left this environment where I felt judged, I still judged myself even more harshly than my family, society, and culture. The feelings of unworthiness and abandonment I felt were reinforced, and as a result, my porn use escalated. A seed had been planted in the garden of my mind, and I had become the gardener of my shame. See, you destroy yourself when you carry the expectations, judgments, and criticisms of others. The next is lying to ourselves. Imagine sitting down for dinner with your family, knowing that just a few minutes before that you had watched the most hardcore pornography ever. Or coming home from a business trip to your wife after acting out on a fantasy with a prostitute. Going on a trip with your girlfriend, looking around at all the beautiful women surrounding you and realizing that you want the freedom to have sex with more than one partner. The image we present to those close to us, to those we care about, and to our family is frequently a lie when we're addicted to pornography. We are the perfect sons, the perfect husbands and boyfriends. Using porn was a weakness that we would never reveal. So ever so often, the impact of our secret life would spill over into our regular life. We got better at hiding it and creating special shelves for it. Eventually, it became normal to live like this. Unfortunately for us, our version of normal is not human. Being human involves truthfully facing ourselves and using the strength that comes from our vulnerability as a tool for growing beyond the pain that we've caused ourselves. Next is principles. All the unrealistic expectations, lying, and self-destructive habits we develop that contribute to our shame have caused us to lose our way. You cannot have any principles when the way you live your life is determined by the expectations of others. Shame and principles do not go together. Now, a man living with pornography as his ball and chain cannot claim to have ideals, ethics, or principles. Every principle you think you have will eventually be eroded by your lifestyle. Most men who use porn face a struggle on the inside and try to reconcile it with the demands of the outside world. True peace is found in the space in between being absolutely real and authentic with ourselves and to the outside world. One of the most effective ways to rewire your brain is to find a way to express the shame you feel on the inside by consistently expressing yourself to the outside world. By doing this, you can rebuild the story that you've created in your head, thanks to the expectations, the lies, and the commitments.